Hi, everyone. This is the Incept CONNECT Podcast. I am John Osberg here in Incept's HQ in downtown Buffalo, New York in studio. Today, I am joined, I feel like I say this for every intro, someone who inspires me, someone who's had a huge impact both on me and then so many in our community. And that is none other than Ryan Stang, Stang Insurance Consulting, and several other ventures. Welcome to the show, my brother.
Thank you, my
Fist
friend.
bump to start. What's going on?
Appreciate that, brother. We finally made this happen.
We did. I know. We had some COVID.
It's been a journey.
COVID issues with a month ago, but it's better late than never.
Yes, sir.
And it's on the eve of our Buffalo Bills season opener.
Here we go.
Repping right there. Got the
game time.
Oh yeah, that's what's up. So this is
calm before the storm.
That's it. Even though we're gonna be juiced in this podcast, like we were talking before we started recording. I think this will be the most energizing of them all because of just what you do and the way that we kind of resonate with one another, what we've done together this year in 2022 in a professional sense, and then even, of course, in the community piece. So as always, this is a conversation where we talk about the intersection of building community and where it meets the building of commerce, aka building business and network and growing as a person, as a business. So Ryan, for those who I'm sure many will know who you are that are watching because of what you've done in our communities, a quick intro on who you are and your path to now.
Yeah, I mean, well, just the personal side, born and raised Hamburg, New York, big, passionate believer in the Buffalo community, building it, seeing it thrive, always have been. Obviously, there's been opportunities to probably bounce out of Buffalo, but, it's been one of those things where I'm like, what, I want to stay here and I want to make a difference. Mm-hmm. So going back, really, before I get into, where I am now, I always believed in relationships and bringing people together. And that probably started in high school when I was throwing parties at my parents' house and getting in trouble.
Yes.
And, sorry, Mom and Dad, if you're watching, but... that's where I got my drive to really, just show people a good time and bring them together. And, my community involvement really started when I think it was 2009 when I went to a volleyball tournament in South Buffalo. And I'm like, you know what? Like, volleyball's a really cool community. And I'm a big basketball player, even though my family, a lot of them play volleyball. I never played, but I saw that it was like, all right, this volleyball community here is really big. And it doesn't matter if you're really good or, average or somebody who just likes to play for fun. I'm like, I could throw a really cool tournament here. And that sparked my idea. I'm like, why don't I do this for charity? Because, I'm a big believer in giving back. And just because simply it's the right thing to do. And I started a volleyball tournament. At the time, it was called Serving for a Cause. And the first year, I told my parents, everyone, I'm like, I really think I could raise some good money here. And I did it for juvenile diabetes. And, first year I was a kid, right? Really just throwing parties. And that was my whole concept. I really wanted to just, throw a party and then have a volleyball tournament at the same time. And you know what? I ended up raising $10,000 at that tournament. And I'm like, you know what? This worked out well. Yeah. I think I'm going to do it again. And, years and years moving forward, this thing just became a beast. Yeah. And eventually I made a branding change and I turned it into a name called Buffalo Spikes for Tykes, which a lot of people around here are familiar with because, at one point, before the pandemic, we were getting, we were getting 80, 90 teams in this thing. And we were doing down at Woodlawn Beach and we'd have a massive auction. And I ended up doing it for the man, the myth, the legend, Jim Kelly, Hall of Fame quarterback for the Buffalo Bills. And his foundation, the Kelly for Kids Foundation, the reason why I loved the Kelly for Kids Foundation was because all the money that you raise stays home. So it directly benefits disabled and disadvantaged children right here in Western New York. So, this thing just became a monster and I would go out and I would get sponsors. And really the theme of the party just remained. I mean, people were signing up for this thing just simply because it was just this big party. Yeah. And, to date, before the pandemic, before I sort of had to put it on hiatus for a little bit, we raised probably just short of $400,000 for the community. My God. Just because, I was capable of bringing together my personal friends, family. You know, I couldn't have done it without them as their support system, you know, being my volunteers and my business relationships, the sponsor, and then the volleyball community, guys like Jeff Kryzak and The Cave, you know, like every year they came out and we just did the thing and raised just so much money. And it was just really great. But what I didn't realize at the time was that, you know, I was really, you know, building my personal brand and creating those relationships for future endeavors.
Huge network, man. Huge. If there's a network in this market that is one that's to be desired, it's right here.
It's just connecting dots.
That's what's up. Connecting people, connecting dots, connecting causes, ideas, energy. Right? I mean, you and I even have already, between like the Del Reeds and the Steve Coltons of the world. I mean, we've already... There's
a little synergy.
Yeah, Kevin Schmidley. I mean, the names, I mean, obviously Mike Davern here at Incept. I mean, and that's literally the tip of the spear. So, and I've said this on several podcasts, and I will say it again on behalf of everyone that you've impacted, myself included. A hearty thanks to you for what you've done for the community,
just
man.
Doing what's right.
I know you well, and literally the last podcast I had that released today, Kate Glazer, we were talking about it. She's got Hope Rises Network Channel 4. She calls herself a conduit to kindness. Right, so that alliterative conduit to kindness, a community conduit to kindness, and you're the same way in the kindness that you share, your own heart, your energy, your time, your resources, your people to do what you've done. And literally, if there's an example, folks that are watching and listening, of what you can do in business by building community, right? This is it right in front of us. So Spikes for Tykes, yes, no. Dude.
So that was my beginning. You know what
Spikes
I mean?
for Tykes.
And all this was going down because I tend to bounce around from like the personal side, the professional side, the philanthropic side, the 3 Ps, you know, like you know, because it all really meshes into one with me because my relationships also mesh into the professional and the philanthropy. So all this was happening while I was working at Mass Mutual. Right. And, you know, I never dreamed of becoming a life insurance guy when I was younger. You know, my dad owns a construction company. My mom is a hairdresser in our basement. So I did get to see the business owner side of it. So I really liked the control and being able to do what I want when I want to do it. And Mass Mutual gave me that outlet because I wasn't confined to a 9 to 5. Sure. And really, I mean, it gave me the flexibility to do Spikes for Tykes. Right. Without working at Mass Mutual in that industry, you know, it's just not happening. But, you know, that being said, you know, branching off into this career I had, you know, I started the insurance industry side, literally walking door to door for Combined Insurance, knocking on doors, sitting at people's kitchen tables, sliding like little income protectors across the table. It was like bizarre, right? Like I never thought in a million years I'd be doing this, but here I found myself doing it, right? Yep. And I find myself at Mass Mutual, which was like a really credible company and a great place for beginners, really, that are trying to dive into this unique world of life insurance. And you know, it was great because it gave me the experience and the tools I needed. And I was there for 10 years. Wow. You know, and all while I was there, you know, I was told, you know, Mass Mutual is the best, and you know, for me at the time they were. Yeah. But eventually, you know, I had to break out, and you know, I sort of saw the writing on the wall. Sure. You know, life insurance is one of those industries where, like, it's like if you know, you know, right? That's it's right. Like if you don't know, you don't know. No. And I started working with some higher end people. One of my buddies actually who plays for the Bills came to me with a policy, and Mass Mutual didn't offer it. And I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do here? Because I really want my buddy as a client. Yeah. What am I supposed to do if Mass Mutual doesn't? And I get it. They had like broker system, but I'm like, you know, they were really pushing the one single type of product line. And I'm like, the light bulb sort of went off. I'm like, this is going to happen to me a lot. And I need to do what's in the best interest of my friends and my clients. Because almost at the time, 99% of my clients were my own natural network. Wow. So like I had to break out. Sure. And now there's no 101 handbook on how to go independent as a life insurance guy. Like most people who are in the industry who do it independently also like manage money or they're a financial advisor, you know. And I'm like, you know, because I now know that there's this other huge world out there, I had to leave Mass Mutual, break out, do something that like I never expected in a million years I would do. And that's jump outside that bubble
Start your own
and start my own thing. So I started Stang Insurance Consulting.
Yeah, let's go.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers. Let's go.
My brother, let's go.
We won't tell them what's in it. No, I'm just kidding.
Relax. Game day's tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow. Let's go.
So I branched out, and it's funny, when you step outside of a box like that, there's really it's like, you're taking a lot of chances. I had no clue what was to come, and I did this, and I opened up this company in February of 2020, and what do you know? The next month goes down.
Oh man!
And bam. Everybody's home for a full year straight. I'm like, what am I going to do? I'm working out up in my,
attic,
basement, pretty much. I'm up in my attic. I'm like, I got babies downstairs. I'm like, this is crazy right now. Like, I don't know what's going on.
Wow.
But then, I got this really weird, this might have been a little bit before, going backwards a little bit.
Sure.
Another stepping outside the box opportunity I had is I got a call from my buddy, Jeff Bokikio. He's like, do you want to run for Erie County legislator? I'm like, dude, I don't even know what a legislator is. Like, not involved in politics. I'm registered Republican, but I have no idea what a Republican even does at the time. Like, wow. Democrat, Republican, I could care less about either party. Sure. I'm like right in the middle. I just want to do what's right for people.
Do what's right.
And I'm like, you know what? This is one of those opportunities where I don't know if I'm ever going to get it again. Do it. It's in my hometown of Hamburg. So I'm like, you know what? I took a chance and I ran for legislator of Erie County in the 9th district. I lost because of the whole politics, right-left thing. Sure. But really, that gave me the confidence and the credibility to sort of move forward in my business.
Right.
It gave me, opportunities to meet people I don't think I ever would. Right. And, that's one of those learning points, I guess, where it's like sometimes you just got to step outside the box, do things that like you never see yourself doing.
Forced growth.
Yeah, especially me in politics. Like, I'm telling you, I sat down with the guys at the Buffalo News. They do these interviews with them. Like,
little profile.
You got to sit next to like a board, like all these old dudes, and they're like grilling you on questions.
And you're just like,
and I'm like, look, I'm going to do what's right because I'm already doing what's right for these people with my events and stuff like that. Just because it's
raising
the right
money,
thing to
raising
do.
awareness.
I thought that maybe I'd have a nice little pedestal to make it even better. And they're like, and I told them straight up, I'm like, look, dude, like I just started voting like 2 years ago. We didn't grow up in a political household in my house, man. It's like we were sports, me and my brother, every single day. We did not do politics. And here I am sitting at the Buffalo News editorial. Don't think they endorsed me for some reason. But hey, you know what I mean? I lost. You know what? I'm actually glad that I lost.
Sure,
you know what I mean? Because I have so much going on right now anyway that I don't even know what I would do. Because, I can't sleep already. I got so much going on. You know what I'm saying? So
You're telling me
it's
where you got in here today. Like, you're moving and shaking.
Gerbil on a hamster wheel, man.
You're moving and shaking, brother.
Won't stop moving. So anyways, to continue on with my story,
please.
I ended up joining a firm down in Florida, writing a really large policy with them. It's called Premium Finance Life Insurance. Sure. And it was just game changing. I didn't realize you could do such things with life because, I didn't get that experience at Mass Mutual.
Sure.
And it sort of got me on the radar with these like larger type of producer groups across the country. And of course, I was shaking a lot of hands at the time and creating relationships. And I ended up meeting these guys that were down out of Austin, Texas. And it's like the premier high net worth life insurance producer group in the country called Lion Street. And once again, I had to take a crazy chance on, because I had to pay a lot of money to get into this group. And I pay a lot of money to get into this group. And then all of a sudden, that's when the pandemic goes down. But now I'm surrounding myself with like the largest producers in the country that work in the high net worth and the ultra high net worth space. And I was always a big believer that like, I'm not the smartest guy in the room. I look at the camera when I say that. But I also don't want to be. No. I know my place. I know I'm the relationship guy. I would much rather work with people in groups who are already established and who are the best and bring my people to them. You know what I mean? Bring my people, because I already have this crazy, amazing natural network of high net worth and ultra high net worth.
Right.
And I know that the life insurance is really, that market is just very one-dimensional, like they're only listening to what their agents, guys like what I used to be at Mass Mutual, are saying. So maybe they're only seeing Mass Mutual. You know what? They need to see the whole picture. They need to see everything that's out there. It needs to be solutions-based, not product-based.
Sure.
We need to be talking to them about what's best for them and maybe not what's best for the company.
Gotcha.
So long story short, I end up joining these guys.
Yeah.
I end up finding a group out of Philadelphia that I ended up attaching myself to. Great. And these guys are the most premier experts in the life insurance industry that I've ever seen in my life. I'm talking like big time, dude. And it's just game changing. I struck up this year-long relationship with them, just going back and forth, bringing clients to them and talking about things. And then eventually, they hired me. And now it's one of those opportunities where I feel like it's crazy to say, after
how many years?
15 years in the life insurance, I feel like I'm finally at the starting line where I'm able to start doing things for people that no one has seen before. So especially in Buffalo.
If I can pit stop for the listeners and watchers, something to extract from this conversation is it's a long-term player playing a long-term game.
Yes, sir.
Right? So patience, it's such a cliche, but it's true. And I'll just liken you to Phil Knight. Phil Knight is? The swoosh, Nike co-founder, Phil Knight.
I'm aware.
The book Shoe Dog. Shout out to Phil Knight, Shoe Dog, amazing.
Nike.
One of my, I'm a Nike fiend. One of the best books I've ever read. But it took him, and I didn't know this until I read the book, his autobiography, 15 years to start seeing traction. It was legit, same as you, 15-ish years. Yeah. And that's a common thing. So those that are in their maybe late teens, early 20s, just recently graduated. I was there 10 years ago. Right now, I'm about 10-ish years into my career, and I'm starting to say the same thing, starting to find my stride a little bit. And so I remember, and maybe you felt the same. I'm curious to get your take, Ryan. Look back 5-10 years ago. Were you kind of like, why is it not happening? Like I was in hockey terms, gripping the stick too tight, right? Like, why am I not getting a seat at the table? Why am I not getting where I want to go?
I had a lot of trouble taking what I've created with my relationships on the personal level and meshing them with the professional side and the business side. It took me a long time to figure out how to do that. And, it was once again, no shot at Mass Mutual, but like, I think because maybe it wasn't mine, that I wasn't maybe the most comfortable bringing it to them and putting my name behind it. Like now it's like, okay, this is my name's there. My name's on the cup. You know what I mean? Like, I want to, do what's best for these people simply because it's the right thing to do, and because I would never put them in a situation where, it's not the right thing for them.
Right.
And, and that was my biggest hurdle through all these years. And I think I'm finally getting over that hump. It's never the easiest thing to do, but that's, 10 years. I made more money for charity than I did for myself. Yeah, over a 10-year stretch. But you know what? I was also not money driven either.
No,
didn't have babies at the time like I do now.
Yeah,
it's
now
like,
you need to provide.
Buffalo. Like it's not. You don't need a ton of money to survive here and thrive.
Right.
I've never been that money driven guy.
Sure.
Where I needed to do it for the money. I'd rather make money for others and have it come back around.
That's what's up.
That's just my philosophy.
So a lot of golden nuggets there, right? I keep looking at the camera for those that are watching, but then again on the microphone here, those that are listening. So many good pieces in here. I mean, again, that intersection of community and commerce and doing the right thing and serving and giving. And I always say, give to give and not to get. Right? You're not giving to get something back. Eventually, maybe something that's totally unrelated might come your way because
karma, man.
Exactly.
Big believer in the universe coming back around. I attribute, not to get like once I said personal side. I have 3 amazing daughters, an amazing fiance. An 8, 2, and a 1-year-old. So times are wild. You know what I'm saying? But I truly believe that like the good I've done, and everybody. It's been a journey. It hasn't always been easy, but. I attribute the fact that they came out so great to that. I'm like big believer in that whole karma thing coming back around.
It sure does.
And here I am. Finally, I'm in a good place.
You were rocking it.
It's fun.
We were rocking it, and
it's a lot, but it's fun.
It's a lot, and for just a quick pit stop again. You got to work hard and play hard, and home opener, the 19th, be on the lookout for this man. He puts on a great tailgate.
Prohibition parking lot. My birthday's the next day too, so
you're gonna be having some
say
fun.
a couple prayers for me.
Yeah, but all in the name of having fun. And
I do a lot with this team and for this team, and I have a lot of relationships in the organization, and just the Bills are what make Buffalo thrive. You know what I mean? When we were in that 19-year drought, I mean, it was times around.
It hurt.
You know what I'm saying? We're finally out of it, and it's like this whole city's on cloud nine now. You know what I mean? Josh Allen, we got guys like Deion Dawkins and Josh, and it's different around here.
It's gonna be wild.
I can't wait. I can't wait. And I almost don't even like the fact that we're expected to win all these. Like, I don't even like being on
it's a little nerve-wracking
because of how many times we were freaking taken back down to reality.
Basement.
But it's like we got the tools needed to take this thing to another level.
Sure do.
Not that we're talking about a sports podcast here, but
hey,
we jump around.
We can jump around personal.
And I do throw a mean tailgate. So
be on the lookout. Prohibition parking lot.
Absolutely. I'm expecting hundreds of people at this thing. I bring my DJ to every tailgate.
I'm swinging through too.
I'll be there. I get it going.
I'll be wearing my Incept shirt.
Let's go.
No, I'm kidding. I'll be decked out in Bills gear. So we're in September right now.
Yep.
This is going to release in a couple weeks from now because it's going to be just in advance of October 1. Something pretty cool happened in October. Why don't you share with the audience what you did last year and then what's this year about?
So it's funny because when the pandemic hit and Spikes for Tykes was forced to stop, I was sort of getting that itch. Like, I gotta give back. I gotta give back some way, somehow. I gotta give back. And I got this call 2 years ago during the pandemic. It was like September 25th. And I get this call from somebody at the American Cancer Society. And she's like, do you want to do this thing and participate in this thing called Real Men Wear Pink, where you're raising money for breast cancer and you're putting yourself out there and there's a bunch of other community leaders who do it and stuff like that. And I'm just like, all right, I'd never heard of it at the time.
Let's do it.
But I'm like, all right, I got this itch. I'm like, what's it entail? She's like, you got to wear pink every single day in the month of October.
Day.
I'm like, get out of here. So I got nothing in my closet that's pink, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, I'm kind of going to step outside the box here again, right?
Yeah.
And I make a trip to the outlet mall and I just get a bunch of pink stuff. I'm like, I'm in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm a big believer in, if I do something, I'm going to do it right. You know what I mean? I'm going to get everybody involved that I possibly can from my natural network and my friends and family. And now that we got this thing called Facebook, it's like things are a little easier to get it out there. And it's like, you know what? I did it. I decided to do it. And it was during the pandemic, so you couldn't see anyone face to face. But that first year I raised like $17,000. And it was it's a national competition as well as like a local one. So, I came in first in Buffalo and then, something in the
top
country.
But
I'm like,
whatever.
But I had no time to prepare for it. So I'm like, all right, like that was kind of cool, right? Like
2020,
it wasn't too difficult. So the next year comes along and I'm like, all right, I'm going to try to take this thing to another level, 21. And, first things first, I got to give a shout out to my boy, Martin Vidal. He sponsored me this year, but he sponsored me last year too. Wow. And, he gave me a nice little check up front that gave me sort of like
a foundation,
a base to start with, as well as like, okay, like I could take this thing to a whole other level if I get some people to like start chipping in here and there on a larger level. Yeah. And then I'm going to make it more, because I'm a big believer in like making things fun. Like if you're going to raise money for charity, like try to make it as fun as possible. It goes back to my party days.
That's
what I'm saying? Like just give the people a time, and then they're more prone to probably
people
donate.
what they want.
Absolutely.
Right? Give the people what they want.
I got a lot of relationships, as I said, with the Bills. I'm pretty close to Deion Dawkins, Eric Wood, is a really good friend of mine. The Buffalo Bandits, Ian McKay, Dane Smith. I got them all on board, and I got them to deck out in pink with me and do photo shoots. And, really, it was more for a credibility thing to just kind of put it out there in the spotlight. And, I did this really crazy, amazing auction. Nick Gary, a buddy of mine who gets the Bills to sign some stuff, gave me a bunch of just amazing items. And I did this virtual auction and raffle. Right. And, long story short, I was going to Frontier Hamburg football games, got the whole Frontier High School to wear pink. And, I really just took it to another level last October. And
amazing.
I ended up raising $54,000.
$54,000.
So I came in like obviously first again in Buffalo. But,
and the country, right?
And I was like 13th or something.
13th, wow.
But, it was just like...
This year's one. This year's number one.
It's exhausting, man.
I know.
I hear you.
Well, that's what we're here to help.
I mean,
one
is not super easy to do. I think the guy got like a couple $100,000 last year.
All right. Fine.
But I mean, hey, I'm not shouting it out. I wouldn't mind raising 100 this year. You know what I mean? Is it possible? I don't know. You know, I know I have Martin's support again, which is, it's going to be a great head start. Yep. I'm going to be probably talking to people about sponsorships and things like that. What I'm going to do to spice it up this year is I'm actually going to host an event at the end of October. I think it's going to be like October 27th. It's a Thursday or something like that. Okay. I'm going to do it at a venue down on Chippewa and host a very large, like, Real Men Wear Pink event to sort of highlight and thank you the sponsors, do a big old open bar like I'm used to, you know, like, and really just give people an experience for donating rather than just like, all right, let's push a couple buttons. This money came out. I feel good for 20 minutes.
Let's really celebrate.
Let's have a time. You know, have everybody deck out pink for the event.
You don't get in. Wear pink or you're not
getting in. I love it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's cool. And, you know, where it gets me, I don't know. But, you know, I have a lot of energy in what I bring to the table. And I'm super confident in this community. With my friends and my family. I'm a big, strong believer in my network. My natural network that I have is the strongest that it can possibly be.
Right on.
So, yeah.
Well, with that said,
let's go.
This is news to you now, but we're going to talk about it once we hit the end button on this podcast. But Incept is going to be pledging all support, you know, in kind to what you're doing. So with what you're doing, what we want to do digitally for you is we want to make sure we raise awareness so that even, like you said, even more donors can get involved and then even attend the event. Because I think at the event, maybe there's even like a little cash call or something there while you're there because you're coming out, you're going to support, you're going to see the impact you're having. It's like, hey, we still got 3-4 days left before the end of the month. Do you want to give a little something? So we're going to help with all that.
And I'm going to have an auction at the event, I'm thinking.
Beautiful.
Like all of that stuff.
It's going to be beautiful.
I'll try to get some of my, you know, my personalities out for you guys.
A master class in building community.
It's just, it's doing what's right because it's the right thing to do.
Right on.
It's just that simple.
Well, we're excited for you.
I appreciate that.
We're excited to be working with you this year on other ventures that we didn't get into as much today. But then with this October push is going to be really fun.
Yeah.
And that's in the NFL, right? They're all wearing pink, right? Because it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And
there's a lot going on. Yeah. You know what I mean? And you know,
it's going to be an epic fall.
It's a lot. I mean, I'm planning a wedding July 1st. You know, I have like I said earlier, 2 and a 1-year-old.
Wow.
A little one in 4th grade. You know, I'm planning my high school reunion for October 8th. You know, going to Baltimore to plan my brother's bachelor party.
Aaron.
Yeah.
Shout out. Let's go. UB. Go Bulls.
Shout out. Horns up.
Hook 'em.
You know, there's just so much going on. My Christmas party. We didn't even get it. I am on my 20th annual Christmas party. I've been doing this thing since I started it in my parents' basement 20 years ago. I make everybody dress to impress. You know, it's just escalated into this monster where people come out and just have a good time during Christmas and during the holidays. Every year I donate to an individual that's in need. I try to stay away from the foundations for that one so I could give someone, you know, a couple grand in cash that really need it around the holidays. Yeah. But, you know, I get 200-300 people to this thing every year for the last probably 15 years. And, you know, this is the 20th year. So it's like, all right,
let's go.
Here we go.
Big 2-0.
I got a plan for that, too. It's
like a lot.
There is a lot going on.
You need to get an event coordinator as
I do have an assistant.
Okay, yeah, you have
my homie Leanne.
She's
you know, I without her,
she's wonderful.
I'm in trouble. You know what I mean?
But you're grateful and
I'm doing what I got to do. You know what I mean? But yeah, I appreciate support from you guys. Of course, man. I appreciate.
We're excited. We're going to talk about it right after this.
Yes.
So we've covered a lot here. I'm just looking.
I talk a lot. Sorry, guys.
No. I'm just my watch was sizzling something, but we've covered a lot. So what you just heard there is really a lot of energy, a lot of passion, a lot of purpose in behind what you do, Ryan. You've seen that by building community, by doing the right thing, you can accelerate your network building, and it's just been really cool. So to talk that through. So Ryan, where can we connect? Where do we find you?
I mean, my office is right next door to the Statler on Delaware, 135 Delaware.
Sweet spot.
You know, I'm all over social. I'm pretty sure you could Google my name and my cell phone.
It's gonna pop all over.
Come up. You know what I mean? If you need to get a hold of me, though, you know,
put your info in.
I'm everywhere.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Hit him on LinkedIn. Check the website.
Whatever you got to do. I'm very easily found. I'll get right back to you as quick as possible.
Yeah.
You know, one speed. You just got to keep moving forward.
Pedal to metal.
and doing what you got to do.
Right.
You know,
we'll have it all in the show notes. So, more information on Stang Insurance Consulting, some of the other ventures that Ryan's involved in.
Yeah.
This will go out, actually, just to date it, it'll go out in a couple weeks from today, just in advance of October. So, September 21st, this will air.
Day after my birthday.
That's right, the day after your birthday. So
as long as I survive that Monday night game.
It's a big
still
week.
A question mark.
Monday night against the Titans. Monday night against the Titans. Tuesday's your birthday, and then Wednesday this is going to go out, and we'll want to go full court press so that people can see this. They can enjoy the energy, the spontaneity, the fun that we've had, and again the impact that we've talked about here at length. So, but then that's for that final push to get people aware of, hey, October 1, we're going deep. Let's get to that 100K mark. So,
love it.
Yeah. So thanks, brother. Appreciate you being out for all you do.
Brother.
Yes, sir. Thanks for being here. And so this is another Incept Connect podcast. We will see you on the next segment, and be on the lookout for this man come October 1. It's going to be a big month for him and for our community.
Go Bills.
Go Bills. We'll see you on the next show.
Let's go.
Let's go.